Now, the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria has praised the Supreme Court's ruling granting financial autonomy to local governments. The institute believes the decision will boost development at the grassroots level. In a statement by the acting registrar and chief executive of the institute, Folake Oso, CITN urged local government chairmen and officials to support the upcoming tax reforms proposed by the Presidential Committee on Tax and Fiscal Policy Reforms. The statement also said the ruling is a positive development that promises improved governance and development. It added that the autonomy is expected to lead to better service delivery, improved economic activities, and reduced rural-urban migration and criminality. The CITN called for accountability and transparency in the use of resources to ensure the benefits of this autonomy are felt by all. Now, to further discuss this, I'm joined by George Ashiru, Public Affairs Analyst. George, good morning. Good to have you on the news.
It's great to be here this morning as usual.
Fantastic. Now, George, we want to know, what are your thoughts on the Supreme Court's ruling granting financial autonomy, like we've just heard, to local governments in Nigeria? How do you think this will impact the country's grassroots development exactly?
Well, permit me to speak with a bit of bias, which will come from the fact that I'm also state chairman of the African Democratic Congress. So therefore, my comments will be tinged by how we view these matters. Local government autonomy is a definite part of our constitution. It's something that we should have practiced right from 1999, when the constitution was perfected and elections were held for a new democratic dispensation. Fact of the matter is that when you have a democratic dispensation, which is starting anew, there's going to be a lot of, there will not be necessarily seamless movement, osmosis of ideas and practice in terms of implementation. And that's what we got. We got a sense that the federal government did not know how to devolve power down to the state and the local government, and then the states did not know how to do the same. But see, we've got 25 years back off of that. And by now, I believe that every tier of government should have known that this is what the Constitution intended, that every tier of government should have as much independence as possible, so that the delivery of the democracy and also the benefits to the electorate can be felt directly by the people who are electing these tiers of government. So for us, this is definitely the way forward, but there's still a lot of issues that need to be resolved, but definitely it starts in the right direction.
Well, George, your bias is noted and it's accepted, allowed here. But so in your opinion, what's the biggest benefit for the average Nigerian out there?
Well, the most critical benefit is that when you elect a local government chairman, the elected person knows that they have a service to you. That is the most important thing. They don't feel that, well, I was installed by a state governor and therefore my loyalty goes to the state governor. I was installed by a party, my loyalty goes to the party. That is the most important benefit. That's what we call the benefit of democracy. Every other thing that comes out of it, financial autonomy, the ability, to be able to go ahead and do whatever you need to do at a grassroots level, they come from the fact that you are accountable to the people. Because if you're not accountable to the people, you will not want to serve the people. And I think that's what we need to take away. We need to take away the fact that a structure, once the systemic issues are removed, it will definitely deliver in value to the people concerned. I think that, to me, is number one. All other things are therefore added value, including financial autonomy.
So another big question is, what kind of protection should be put in place when you consider the potentials for corruption and mismanagement of the funds at the local government level? There's been plenty of talks about that one. So what do you think can be done to mitigate this?
Nothing new. The law provides for the protection of our resources in the hands of elected officials. Again, like I said, our constitutions and our laws have been perfected. What we to diligently prosecute those who are concerned with this matter. And that's what we really need to focus on. The ICPC exists, the EFCC exists, and there's no one in Nigeria that is outside of the bounds. Even those who are immune will still come and face the wrath of the ICPC or the EFCC at the right time. So I think what is important is that we should watch, the citizens should watch, The regulatory authorities should watch, the financial authorities should watch, and if there's any abuse at the local government level, at the councillorship level, or by any tier of government, they should spring into action on behalf of the people in the way that they were intended to do. We don't need to create new laws. Laws exist. We don't need to create new oversight. Oversight already exists. People who study know that we have robust systems in this country. We've never had a problem with robustness of the system. And where we do not have an understanding of the implementation, the courts are there to help us decide what is right and what is wrong. I do not think the local governments are given money so they can steal. It just gives them the ability to carry out their own vision. So no real difference between what they have and where they are. What really we're looking at now is that for a change, they will be able to carry out their own vision without interference from the top, really. And if you do not have a vision, the people should not even elect you as a local government chairman.
So, George, let's talk about decentralization, decentralizing the system of governance here. Do you think that we've attained that finally? I'm talking about the relationship between states and local government level now.
So, again, that word is an anomaly to our constitution. You know, we do not have to decentralize what already is autonomous. The constitution recognizes the federal government of Nigeria, the state governments across Nigeria, and 77 and 74 local government. That is the state of Nigeria. There are 3 different tiers of government, and the relationship naturally should be cordial because it's symbiotic. You are still serving the same people. You see, the person that votes for you in a ward in Etiosa is voting for the president, the governor, and the local government chairman. This same individual is voting these 3 people. And when he votes these 3 people, he expects service from those 3 people in the areas that concern them. So really, we don't even need to worry about the idea of decentralization. What we need to understand is the cascading of the responsibilities. So when a company sets up a strategic map, you have what we call the world headquarters. Then you have national headquarters. Then you have the branches. And companies run their organizations very well. They know how to cascade strategy, they know how to cascade funds, and there's a certain amount of autonomy within all of this to carry out the necessary responsibilities. So what we need to do again, like I said, is the proper understanding and, in fact, proper education of people who were elected to know how to carry out their responsibilities in the area in which they are elected. Local government chairmen right now are not necessarily under the purview of the state government. I do not think that the president of Nigeria goes around 36 states to ask, hey, how are you spending your money? What are you doing? As far as he's concerned, the people of the states will hold them responsible. The same thing will happen at the local government level. The people at the local government will hold the local government responsible for collecting resources and not using it for them. The difference now is that they know that instead of holding the state governors responsible, they hold the local government responsible, and the oversight of the councillorship should exist, just like the oversight of the National Assembly exists over the presidency in this regard.
Well, Mr. George Ashiru, thank you very much for expatiating on your views on local government autonomy. Thank you indeed.